Hi everybody, it's Kim from Fleece and Harmony. Welcome to our knitting and crochet podcast, which is being recorded in our yarn shop, in our woolen mill, on our sheep farm in Belfast, Prince Edward Island. So today, if you're looking at this, when we publish it, it is April 29th, 2022, so almost May. This is episode 95, and we've got a packed episode again this week. So sit back and relax, and I hope that you will enjoy the show. If you haven't visited us before, we will start off with a farm update where we talk about what's happening on the farm, and there's finally something that's happening, which is going to be exciting. So I'm going to tell you about that. We have whips and luckily no rips this week because I had a big rip last week, so no rips, just works in progress. And I also haven't finished anything, so we don't really have finished objects either, but I will talk about a couple of projects that are really close to being finished. There'll be a Llama segment with Betsy Campbell from Love and Llama, and I'm just barely, well, not even quite finished my first Llama, and she's whipped up 12 in the time that it's taken us to do this whole segment. We're going to talk about the Wallflowers project from the Mercerie, which is a design by Sue Matten, which is a crochet blanket, which we're about to embark on. Betsy and I are going to do that together. And we have a shop update as always, and we'll have a Fibre Festival update because the Prince Edward Island Fibre Festival is coming up in September. And I also have a Harmony part, which I hope will be very relaxing and lovely for you all to enjoy at the end of the episode. So the farm update, we're going to start with that. And we're getting ready for shearing. So on Sunday of this week coming up, we are, well, this week, Sunday, a few days, 2 days after you're seeing this, we are going to be shearing our little flock of sheep. So that's always exciting, and we're really kind of late shearing, so we're about a month and a half later than we usually are, so that their fleece is going to be a little bit longer than usual. But we have a special project that we're going to do with the fleece this year, which I won't tell you about now because it's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time, but I will tell you later, in later episodes, what we're going to do with their fleece. So we're not going to spin it into our regular yarn. We are going to just continue to use the local yarn that we purchase, and because this wool will be pretty long from our sheep, that would kind of muck things up a bit for our batches. So we're not going to use it for that, but we have a really special project that we're going to use it for, which you'll find out about a little bit later, like in the next couple months. So we'll see how that goes. So shearing day is always fun. Amber is our shearer, and she's amazing how she handles the sheep. We'll try to take some video while we're there in the barn. We have a little bit of a smaller flock this year than we normally have, so we will be able to take a little bit of more time it'll be a more relaxing day than it usually is. So I think we talked about in the last episode that we didn't lamb this year again, so we don't have as many sheep on the farm. So that means that shearing day will be a little bit more relaxing than it is. Usually it's a really long and tiring day. It's very physical work, and it's usually raining, so that's always a problem, and can be kind of nasty because we're usually doing it in the middle of March. So this year, obviously, like I said, we're later and we've got help. So we're going to have some special friends coming to help us do the shearing, and they're pretty excited about it. And I'm really excited because I'm the one that's doing all of the sorting. Usually Ken's wrangling sheep with Amber. I'm doing all of the sorting of the fleece because we do try to skirt them a little bit before we put them in the bag. And I'm usually doing that by myself. So this year I'm going to have some helpers, which I'm really happy about. And there's a few less sheep than what we normally do. So that's also really good. So that's exciting. The other exciting news is that we've actually had days where it didn't threaten to snow, even though it's been pretty cold. There have been warmer days. By the afternoon, it kind of warms up. So that means that the grass has been springing up everywhere. The horses are loving it because it's really their first fresh grass that they've been able to graze. They're in a pretty big field. So they have about, I would say about 7 or 8 acres that they can graze over. So it doesn't have to be very long for them to get a good meal. So they're loving that. That we have 3 horses, and the one horse we need to be a little bit careful about because she does have a tendency to put on weight, and that's not really good for her. So I'm watching every day really carefully to make sure she's not getting too much fresh grass. So she keeps her svelte figure because she can get pretty round pretty quickly, and it's really not healthy for her. She has a little bit of a condition that it can actually makes her feet sore if she gets too fat. So we have to watch her very carefully, but everything's good so far. So other than that, though, everything is pretty good on the farm. Chores are being done. Oh yes, Ken and I were cleaning out the rabbit hutch. So the rabbit hutch has a big space. They all live together, and there's straw on the bottom of it and everything. But every now and then it needs to be kind of cleaned out. So we've been doing that every morning. So we're taking wheelbarrows. That's quite a big space for them. We have 8 rabbits in there, and they can have lots of room to hop around and stuff. That hasn't been done in a little while. So every morning we've been taking out straw and pellets and things like that are on the floor. And we discovered that they were digging down into the straw pack, and we thought that they were just because we have wire all on the floor and up the sides, and then that's covered with a straw pack so that their feet are not actually on the wire. And then over time that has gotten bigger. So we knew that they had a little hole there, but we thought they were just digging under. There's a place where, like a little box thing, like just kind of a little space that's delineated where we put their hay every morning. And we thought they were just digging under that box. But I happened to go out to look for my hanging plant baskets because I'm forever hopeful that we might actually get some warm enough weather that I can do my plant hanging baskets. And when I went over there, I noticed that there was a hole digging into the straw that was on the outside of where the rabbit's pen is. And so I told Ken to go into the rabbit hutch, and then I put my arm into the hole, and he could see my hand. And the wire underneath was overlapped. And there was quite a generous overlap, but it should have been attached together, but that didn't happen apparently when it was built. So that meant that the little rabbits had dug themselves a back door. So I don't think they're motivated to go very far because they've got lots of hay and they're all cozy in their little rabbit hutch. But something was going from the other side to meet them. So I think some kind of an animal, I suspect it might have been a skunk, was visiting them every night in there. And some days we could smell skunk, but they never got sprayed or anything. So I don't know what it was, but I think that they were having a visitor or, met somebody new, a friend or whatever. And that little buddy was not there when we were there, but they could have actually just gone out the back door and been free. And also not great because it's not really safe. Like we do have foxes around and stuff like that. So if they had, they couldn't get outside, but they could have got out of their very secure rabbit hutch. So we had to fix that. So that was an adventure one morning. And so we got that all secured and everything is fine. The rabbit hutch is cleaned out. So they've got a nice clean space now that's all fresh to start all over again with gathering up the hay and everything on the inside. But now we're going to watch really carefully to make sure that nobody's trying to get out or get in. So that was a little bit of an unexpected adventure one morning. So other than that, that's about as exciting as it gets around here these days, which we don't mind at all. Like, trust me, we don't even like it to be that exciting. So that's good. So I don't think the other little thing that I'm going to mention, but I'm hesitating to mention it because I'm not going to really be able to give a lot of progress on it, is that our house was built in 1860. And there's not been too much done to it over the years, except for, installing a bathroom, because in 1860 they didn't have indoor plumbing and that kind of thing. So we are now embarking on I'm going to call it the restoration, but we don't plan on living in a museum, but we are going to embark on fixing up the old farmhouse. So it's pretty rough in spots. Like it was vacant for 2 years when we purchased it, and we're quite comfortable there, but it really needs some work. And I think I've mentioned this before, that I said to the lady that owned the house, we know her. And I said to her, it needs some work. And she said, yes, that's why we moved. So anyway, so we are now finally doing that work. So we need to put all new windows in, and still some rooms have the original plaster that was put up in 1860, which is not adhering as much as it should to the lath. So we have to either fix that or replace it. And we have a lot of work to do. So we're just in the planning phases of that. So we're going to see where that takes us. So we have a friend that's helping us with the design. We're not going to really change anything too much, because we do want to keep the historic value of the house, but it definitely needs some updating things that, like keeping heat in and stuff like that, is becoming very important. So we're going to do that kind of work, but be very sympathetic to the fact that it's a 160-year-old house, and that we want to respect that heritage, but have a place that's nice and snug and warm and comfortable. So that's what we're going to do. So I don't know if we'll do some video on that. I don't want to become a YouTube house renovation video either, but we'll keep you up to date on what's happening. But nothing is going to happen too quickly right away, because we're just doing the planning literally on paper right now for what we have to do. So I guess I will talk about the whips and rips. So last time I had ripped out the tungsten sweater because I had made a mistake. I had put the diamonds in the wrong spot. And I think that when I was here the last time, I had just started back putting the diamonds in. So I've worked quite a lot on tungsten. So I'm going to show you that first. And because there's one thing about ripping out. You don't really want to do it, but when you know you have to do it and you get it done, you just get it done, and then you feel better about the fact that you ripped out. But what's even more satisfying is when you wind the yarn back on the balls to where you were, like to get back when you rip back the yarn, and you've got the balls all squished up, and of course you're not rolling it like a cake, so you've got it all round like this. There's something so satisfying when you pull off the first bit of fresh yarn. That means you've knit back all of the yarn that you ripped out. So I had that experience this week, and I'm back to fairly far past where I was. So you can see that things are coming along, so that I'm starting to close up the diamonds. So once the diamonds are closed, that's really kind of the end of the color work. And since I'm duplicate stitching all of these little brownish lines, I'll just be knitting with one color. So then it really zooms fast after that. And I didn't bring the other part. This is the front, and I didn't bring the back. But what I'm noticing with the duplicate stitch, now that I've gone quite far with it, is that it's a little bit meatier on the front, because of course it's duplicate stitch over yarn that's already been knit. So the back is intarsia, so it doesn't have that double thickness. And I thought I could probably get away without duplicating the duplicate stitch on the back, but I don't think I can anymore. And I kind of like the idea that the lines are more prominent on the front. So I'm going to go back and duplicate stitch, which it takes no time. It's like perfectly straight and lines, and it's really kind of mindless to do it because it follows a very regular pattern. So I'm going to do that. So this will not take me long now, being, like I said, this is a 57 centimeter length sweater to the before you start the arm shaping, but it really knits up really easily. And I'll say it again, I've already said it. This is my first garment that I knit the full sweater with felted tweed by itself. So I did knit a sweater for Ken with felted tweed, and Kidsilk Haze held with it. And I'm really loving it. I can understand why people love felted tweed. So this is the tungsten. So that's coming along. And then the next project I'm going to show is paisley, because I did work a little bit on paisley. I have to say that I was really motivated to get past where I ripped out on the tungsten. So I concentrated mostly on that. But I am going to show you what I did with paisley. So it's not too exciting. It's still not done, but I did manage to do a bit of work on it. And I had one of these already done. So one of the paisleys was outlined on the paisley before. I kind of put it in hibernation for a couple weeks. So now I've done the filling in. I'm working my way up. So you need to fill in with the duplicate stitch in the center of the paisleys, and then after you do that, then you do the outside outlining. So this one was already duplicate stitch, so I completed the crocheting on there. I duplicated the stitches on this one and did the crochet, and now I've got the duplicate stitch on this one up here. Is it done? Yes, it's done. So I'm ready to crochet around. And then I only have these two left on. Oh, and I did one on the top. So that's, oh yes, I skipped one. I was working with the light lavender. So I went ahead and just finished the light lavender one on top as well. So I have dark lavender to do on this one. And then the crochet, and there's a little bit there. The other side doesn't have anything done. It's got a little bit of the duplicate stitch, so I'll just show you what a difference it makes when you've got the crochet done. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just trying to hold them so you can see it. So again, it just makes that pop. I'll look at the video, and if I find that you can't see it, then I'll put a picture in, but we'll see what happens in the editing for that. And just to remind people, because I haven't done any more of this, so this is not something new that I did, but this is what happens after you do the outline. You put on these sequins, and that's really, I just love it. I really love it. It's very flashy, I know, but I love it. So that all has to be done all the way up those bands in the front. And then honestly, it's the sewing on the buttons and it's done. And I have to admit something. I don't think I admitted this the last time, even though I was thinking about it. But I am a little bit worried it's going to be too tight. So the minute I get it done, I promise I'm going to put it on. But if I don't feel comfortable, then I'm not going to leave it on. But I will try to model it. And I don't know, I might have to get the shapewear out, because I think it might be a little bit too tight. And I gained a little bit of weight over the last little while. So I am going to see what happens. And could be, it's not blocked either, so that could be fixed in the blocking. But we'll see what happens. And it's not, I honestly, my weight fluctuates. I don't really care if my weight fluctuates, but I'll be very upset if I can't button the paisley afterwards. So that's all I care about, is that I'm going to be able to button the paisley when I put it on. So hopefully that's going to be the case, but I'm really not sure. So I am going to put this over here, because usually I have two tables, but I forgot to bring the second one. And I'll get rid of this tungsten over here as well. So the next thing I'm going to show is the cowl cardigan. And I've worked on this quite a lot as well. I mean, it's really kind of mindless knitting is this part at this point. So the last time we were here, I had finished one ball of Kid Classic. This is my progress keeper. There's 14 balls in the cardigan. I'm on ball number 2, and I can tell you, by the time you get down to this part, it goes pretty fast. It eats up the yarn pretty quickly. you just need to keep knitting. So what I've been doing is in the morning, and I'm in the middle of a row, so I can't really, I'm not gonna really be able to show you too much. But if you're watching every week, then you'll be able to see the difference. It is quite a bit longer, and so far so good on the double seed stitch, which is the stitch that I'm doing. I caught a mistake this morning, but I was still in the same row, so I don't qualify that as ripping out because I tinked back and that's it. But it's a really, really, really nice yarn, I have to say. And I just had a little sneak peek preview of the fall 2022-23, and there's some news on Kid Classic. So I can't divulge anything, or else I'd have to be I don't know what would happen, but I'm not going to divulge anything. But something exciting is going to happen with Kid Classic. So that's the cowl cardigan, and again, the color that I'm knitting it in is cherry red, and I can hardly wait. It's going to be a little bit flashy, but I'm really liking it, and you can just feel the warmth in this yarn, but yet it's as light as a feather, so it's really great. It's a great jacket. So I just there was a customer in the store this week that bought the yarn to make one. She's going to make it hers in the color is lavender, I think, that she's going to do hers in. It was really, really, really beautiful too. So that's that. We'll put that in there as well. And I have an update on Mona, and this is the project that Jennifer Hicks is making out of Kid Classic as well. So if you haven't joined us before, Jennifer Hicks works here with us, and she is knitting a wardrobe capsule in Kid Classic. And this Mona scarf is, I don't know, I can't describe how beautiful it is. The softness of the colors and just the fabric is just lovely. So it's a really, really great design. And I'm just going to hold it out. So now she substituted, so she's following the pattern. She's using champagne. The white is feather and the gray is pumice, which is what the pattern calls for. But they used another brown here, which is called bittersweet. And Jennifer Hicks has decided to use mulberry instead. And I think she made a great choice. It's absolutely stunning. And it's pretty long, so I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing out. And I think she's got like another 2 repeats after this, so another 2 sections to do. She did discover a little error in the pattern though, so I'm going to tell you about that. In this part here, when you go from, so the white is called feather. So when you go from bittersweet, which is in the pattern, written in the pattern, that's the color. In her case, she's using mulberry. When you come to this part, the pattern is written incorrectly. They've added an extra line there. So it is supposed to be these single lines like this. And in the pattern, it gives you the impression that it should be a line of the feather, the white, and the brown, but it's not correct. There is a mistake there. So if you're knitting this, just be aware. You'll probably be able to figure out when you get there, because it doesn't kind of make sense what they've said. So, but it's just a little error. But if you look at the picture, you're able to figure out what the pattern should be. And if you knit it the way that they wrote it, it's still going to be beautiful, but it is a little bit of an error based on the picture in the book. So this is Mona, and the pattern is in the book, the 4 projects for Kid Classic. And again, she knit the Elda sweater out of that book. There is a cardigan as well, and there's this, and there's one other piece, a vest. So she plans on doing the four pieces. And it's not just me. She's finding the Kid Classic just a delight to knit with as well. So she should be finished this. I bet you by the next podcast she'll be finished this. So I'll be able to show her finished objects. So I don't know. Maybe my paisley will be done. So I don't want to make any promises. You know me. My knitting is so slow, it's painful. But I just read an Instagram post from Franklin Habit, and he was saying about he's a notoriously slow knitter too. So I think there's more of us than what I thought. I thought I was the slowest knitter in the world, but it seems like there's quite a few slow knitters. So Jennifer Hicks is not one. She's actually pretty quick. She does a lot of projects at once, but she's actually a pretty fast knitter. So that's it for the works in progress. And I don't have a finished object, but I am wearing a project that I did a long time ago that I love. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit because I am going to, I want to show some things in the shop update. So I'll tell you what I'm wearing first. It's Birds of a Feather by Andrea Mowry. It's a huge shawl, and you have stripes with a solid yarn and Kidsilk yarn held singly. So you have very transparent parts of it and then thicker parts. And I'm going to tell you, this is knit from a yarn that we made, a special yarn that we made like a couple years ago. I knit this shawl a couple years ago. So I'll explain more about it when I get to the shop update, because I'm going to show you a couple things that are relevant to this. And this shawl appeared first in Llama magazine number 2, which we still have in stock. So if you're looking for that magazine, we do have it to purchase. But you can also find the Birds of a Feather pattern on Ravelry for purchase. So you can buy it separately if you don't want to buy the Llama book. So that's what I'm wearing today, that I knit a couple years ago, and I'll talk about it a little bit more in more detail when I get to the shop update, because it's relevant for that. So we're now going to go to the segment with Betsy, which we recorded last night, and wait till you see what Betsy brought. So it is absolutely fantastic. She had a great response from everybody when she asked for people to give her suggestions for llamas. And really, you guys came through with spades, because she has got such a great response. And the llamas that she created are absolutely fantastic. So I'm not going to say any more. We're just going to talk about what she did. There's a little tiny update about where I am with my project. Very insignificant compared to the wow factor of Betsy's presentation of her llamas based on the suggestions that you guys gave. So enjoy that. It's a little bit longer, the segment, because she had a lot of llamas to talk about, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. Even if you aren't interested in crocheting llamas or amigurumi, then you should watch to see all of the little personalities that Betsy's created with the llamas. Hi, Betsy.
Hi, Kim.
How are you today?
Good. The sun is shining.
Yes.
So fabulous. We'll take it.
So I'm sure I talked about this in my farm update already, so people know, but I was telling you that we were fencing again on Sunday, and when the wind got up to 60 kilometers an hour gusts, I said, that's it, I'm out.
I don't blame you.
And Ken would be usually saying, come on, we just have this little play. But he said, yeah, okay, let's go.
Okay. Well, we don't have to worry about fencing today, because I don't think our buddies are going anywhere.
No,
so
I know. I'm so
good.
excited. I'm so excited to be able to, and you guys are going to be so excited too, to see what Betsy did with all of your suggestions.
Fabulous ideas, and I hope I've done them justice.
Yes.
So we'll share them with you today and find out.
Yes. So before we get to all that, though, I'm going to talk about where I am with my llama.
That sounds like a good idea.
And then we can see, this is going to inspire me to do what I have to do. No pressure. So here's my llama. Not quite done yet.
It's getting there.
Yeah, it's getting there. So I put the lids over the eyes, and she's got eyeliner on.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. And the only thing is that my makeup artistry with thread is not quite the same as what my professionally trained makeup artistry whatever would be.
Done.
So I've got two eyes that are not even close
Exactly
to the same.
It's that liquid eyeliner, I tell you.
I know, liquid eyeliner is the worst. So I am going to, unfortunately, you do the two eyes at the same time.
I do.
going back and
you
forth.
You wouldn't have to. I mean, you could choose to
That makes
do them.
sense. It seems like it's
just
more
a
stable.
thread, yeah.
Yeah. So I am going to take them out because I definitely like this eye with the little swoopy S on the end, like how I used to do my own.
Well, it's very fashionable right now.
That's right.
It is.
As opposed to this one, which is going down like, I don't know. This was at the beginning.
The pen slipped.
Yeah, no, this was at the beginning of the evening, and
there
this
we
was
go.
after one too many margaritas.
Okay, so yeah, we need her fresh and
Yes.
good looking.
Right. So I'm going to take those out and do them over. And we have all of these strings hanging out because whenever we sewed on something, we left the end, the string, and we will like soften.
Just from the different appendages, the ears, the tail.
Right.
Yeah.
So how you finish that is that you pull that out, like put a bit of tension on it, and then when you cut it close to the body, but not cutting the stitch.
Yeah, don't cut your stitch.
Yeah, then it just pops in
Right
and
back
it
in.
disappears into the body. And she had a little spot on the top of her head where my magic circle, what is it?
Magic circle.
Magic
Yes.
ring?
No, it's a magic circle.
Magic circle, okay. When my magic circle wasn't quite tight enough, so I just redid around the stitches and pulled it tight, and it did a perfect job.
Yeah, close it up, nice.
And I'm going to do the same on her back, but you probably can't see anyway, but that's what I'm going to do. And then she'll be done, except for what is she going to be? So she told me that she was.
Should we be afraid that this is talking to you, Kim?
I didn't answer.
Oh, there we go. That's all good.
It, yeah. So she told me that she wants to be a butterfly catcher.
Ooh.
Yes. So luckily I have a friend who knows how to make butterflies.
I have no idea who that is.
And I just merely breathed the suggestion that she wanted to catch butterflies, and all of a sudden 6 butterflies appeared.
I think we have 5 actually.
5. Okay. So there they are.
Stand there. I'll give
Yeah.
those to you. Make sure she.
So I'm just going to have to pick out which kind of
Whoops!
Oh,
there they are, flying away already.
Yeah, exactly. So you did a wonderful job, Betsy.
Thank you.
The little knots on the end of the.
I really can't take credit. I honestly just went to YouTube and typed in crochet butterfly, and I think this was the first or second video.
Yeah.
So
that's a cat hair.
Oh, okay. That could very easily have been a dog hair for my household.
No, it's a Clyde cat.
Clyde.
So these are how they look. And if when I'm editing this, I don't think that people can see it, I will put in another pictures.
Sure.
But I've got the Fleece and Harmony kind of corally red color. And I've got a green one and a yellow one and a blue one. Well, actually, they're all like the logo colors of that we use almost, except for the mauve one. So,
okay,
interesting.
Perfect.
Yeah,
that's coincidence.
Completely
I
random.
honestly went to my drawer and just chose all the colors I had in that same type of yarn. So
yeah. So because I think she's kind of looking down a little bit, I'm going to probably put one here.
Yeah.
And then I think she needs one on top.
Yeah,
so that's what
sure.
I'm going to do.
I think that sounds great.
So, and if I can figure out how to do a little net
of some sort,
I will do that. But I'm kind of thinking fisherman knot kind of.
Which I have never done, so
There's
you go ahead. It's almost like macrame. Is that what it's called?
I think so. I have
when
no
you
idea. Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay.
I got to find. I know I'm gonna find some.
Kim, we probably should not be confessing that we know nothing about fishing nets, considering the town we live in.
That's what I'm not worried.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
exactly.
I'm pretty sure that somebody I know
will help you out.
Will help me out with tying
Nice.
a knot like a net. So, or a net. I'm not tying knots in a net.
In a net.
So that's it. So
I think she's adorable.
now we just have to figure out a name, but we're going to talk about names.
Sounds
later.
good. Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So we have a little manger here for all the llamas,
We'll talk about them and then in they go.
and they're going in the box. So there's the first one undone. She's got her place in her stall.
Oh, awesome.
All right, and her
Good
butterflies are joining.
Well, I might as well show this one first.
Okay.
Because this was the one I was working on. You folks have all seen the orange one.
Right.
And so, long time ago, I made the Kim, so I had to make the Ken. So this is Ken.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't met him, it looks exactly like him.
Yes. Yes. He's got a little Celtic knot tattoo on one of his arms.
There we are.
Yeah.
You know more about that than me.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all the secrets.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well, because it's usually, right, even if he wears a t-shirt, it's usually just kind of peeking out.
Which I have to admit, I think t-shirt is pretty much what I've seen Ken wear.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
one of his wool sweaters here and there, but
yes.
I think working in the mill, it gets pretty warm.
It's warm, right. So he's got a little Celtic knot going around his upper arm.
Yep.
And lately, he's been obsessed.
Been baking cornbread.
Yes, yes.
At least according to Facebook.
Yes. And we absolutely, what's that made out of?
Oh, so I took,
the skillet.
I should talk about that. Yeah, the skillet. So I crocheted it, and then I wanted the handle to stay put. So I put a little black fabric paint on it and realized, it gives it a nice, I believe my husband used the word patina.
Yes.
Like a cast iron patina. So I decided to paint the whole thing. So
wow. Okay.
Fabric paint on
so when I touched it, I was surprised because I thought I knew you crocheted it. So I thought it was going to be
full secret of how I did it. I took a toothpick.
Yeah.
Poked it halfway in and then did I think I've heard it referred to as a Japanese staircase kind of knot all along the toothpick, or like a single crochet, I think is what it is. And then I just painted it with the fabric paint so that it would stay put.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ken has been making cornbread like crazy because that's his thing right now. He's trying like different things and stuff like that. So because of that, I always have to be going like this with my shirt because I'm seems that I'm the tester. Aww. And Janet, who works with us in the mill, is the tester, and you've gotten some, I think.
Well, I haven't yet, but I want some.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
Our households are kind of cruel to each other because my husband is testing donuts.
Yes.
So I keep showing up with donuts, and now I hear cornbread's coming. Kim, we're going to have to take up midday exercise.
Yes. Anyway, and then the glasses are just really, really cute.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through all of them because everybody had such great, but I want to talk a little bit more. We touched about this on the last one about how to pick out what it is that you want to, that tells the story. So, I mean, this is as simple as just his tattoo.
Yep.
He wears glasses that happen to look almost like this, exactly. And he's been making cornbread.
Yes.
So right away, if I looked at these 12 llamas, I would know right away which one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just finding, tattoos are a great way to go because those are pretty permanent. So those are always fun. Or if there's a particular hobby someone really enjoys, or if you want to highlight their career is a way to do it.
Right.
So we'll talk about those.
So this one is called Ken.
This is Ken.
But we need names for the other ones.
11, I think we
11
have.
more. Okay.
Yes.
So we need your help.
We do. I came up with one cute, witty name, thinking, I'll do this for all of them. And I got
the well
to
went
one.
dry.
Yeah.
First
I think I spent a significant amount of my creativity there, and now I need to
so
fill
you
it all
guys
up again.
Will have to comment in the comments about, and do we want them to have like a double name?
Well, you can.
So could this be Kenny Cornbread?
See? This is Kate. I will fully admit I am a very corny person.
Okay.
Yes, I did go for the pun there.
Yes.
So I love punny things. So yes, this is definitely Kenny
Fleece and
Cornbread.
Harmony is all about puns. Welcome to our world.
That's true. Your website.
How
has
nice for you to be here. Okay, so we're just
perfect.
That's perfect.
So if you can come up with a pun, that's great. If you just have a name that you think suits them, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So Kenny Cornbread.
Kenny Cornbread. There he is.
Going into the stall.
All right.
With Llama, Butterfly, Betty Butterfly.
Betsy?
Betsy Butterfly. All right.
Who knows? Okay, so I had mentioned one about, I don't know, we'll just start from the front here. So I tried to do basically from your list of ideas that you gave us. I think there is one in here that no one had really suggested, but Kim's talk of butterflies and doing smaller butterflies influenced her. So we'll get to her later.
Yeah.
So someone definitely asked for a fireman.
Right.
So there he is. I have to admit, I agonized a bit over those boots.
They come off.
They do. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to because they might still have some ends that need to be tucked in.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get there.
Let's take them off.
Oh,
anyway,
all right.
where nobody cares
no,
about
I did
ends.
my job. Okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Look at them. They're so cute.
That little.
Yeah.
So how I do that is I just go to the good old internet and I looked up fireman boots, and then there's some that are incredibly detailed, but then you just pick ones that are most sort of simple and that you can accomplish. And the yellow trim around the top and the base of the boot was the key to those ones.
Okay.
And then of course the hat. I went with the classic red hat. And then just
the little ridge is like just single crochet over the top.
Yep,
is that
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
and does it come off?
It does, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's hard to get around their ears because I do make holes for all their ears. But yeah, that's removable.
Okay, and the little badge. And everybody, no more detail needed on the badge because it's there on the hat.
I had thought, so if you're purchasing this for someone who is a fireman, or a firefighter would be the correct term. I think I learned that often they'll have like their number on there, or maybe it's a house number, a station number. I don't know this stuff for sure. You would know, but if you wanted to add a station number or a number that corresponds with your person, you could.
Because these are all going to go on your website.
Yes,
for sale.
they are. That's right. We should say that. So these can all be found on loveandllama.com. As of Friday, they will go up, which is when you will be viewing this. So if you go and look, they should be there right now.
Yeah. Great. Okay. So that's the fireman.
The fireman.
And we don't know what are we going to call it.
Well, I had come up with some idea, like fire chief or something. I don't know, like fire dot. I don't see. Yeah. I ran out of I should have showed the best one that I had first, so I'll get to that one next.
So we'll
give him a name.
Give him a name.
Or her a name.
Yes.
Him or her.
Yes.
This was the one. So this here is our sleepy time one. And of course, she's got a little latte here.
It could be a he or a she.
But the name I came up with was Anita Latte. Anita Latte? I need a latte? I don't know. I need a latte.
Right.
That's my one witty one that I had.
Right.
And then that's where it ended.
And she's got like the details, the little cap, but the cap is sewn down because
it's sewn down, but you could still remove it. Yeah, it still comes off.
It still comes off?
It's just sewn to itself.
And the detail, I just have to mention that the latte with the little handle, you could really, if your finger was tiny enough, you could put your finger through the cup and it's actually got brown crocheted inside there.
Latte.
How did you do that?
Just did a circle and then put some stuffing into the cup and sewed the circle onto the top of the cup.
Wow, that's amazing.
And again, I used a toothpick in there, so it is sewn to the leg, but there is a piece of toothpick in there just to give it stability and security.
Right, so it's not flopping.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need a latte. Okay, all right.
And again, to make it sleepy, just a heavier lid that I've put on. There's barely any DI showing.
So let's just show the difference. Mine is probably easier to see because she doesn't have
a hat
any.
on. Very good, of course.
So the eye usually looks like this.
A little wider
and
open.
This one is really, you can almost barely see it. It's just really the bottom. She's like, so.
I tried to have photos of these on the website, on my website as well, that you can see those details.
It's so cute.
And that's just accomplished by an additional stitch. Rather than 3 for an eyelid, there's a 4th.
Yeah, so to make the eyelids, you stitch back and forth, and instead of 3, you put 4, and that's it.
That makes a sleepier eye.
That makes a sleepier.
So again, just thinking about those little things, sleepy, or if you don't have hardly any eyelid, you might have surprised.
Yeah, right.
They often all start looking surprised. So then, of course, we had lots of requests for a knitter.
Right.
So this one has lots of bits and pieces. So this one here is the knitter.
I'll hold it and you can explain it.
No fancy name going on there.
Okay.
But the fun details with me for this one is that the little bag is a Fleece and Harmony bag.
Project bag.
Yeah, the project bags that you guys have.
Yeah.
The scarf that this little guy is wearing is actually made out of Fleece and Harmony yarn. So if you've never purchased it and you want a little sample, there you go. And then the little yarn ball, which I think is
it's in my hand.
Yeah, it should all be fine. Attached to the knitting needle still is also your Fleece and Harmony yarn.
Great. It's really cute. Okay. So so it's really
kind of best sits on a table.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show again like the details.
You can take the bag right. Yep. It comes right off.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right. So this is, our bag is distinctive because it has black handles and a black bottom.
I couldn't get Mr. James Bond.
No, but it's got the prominent thing is the logo, the orange logo. So that's what all you did. Yeah. And right away, the minute I saw it, I was like, oh my God, she even has a Fleece and Harmony project bag. So it's the clues that your eye
all
sees.
All those little details.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it back together later. That's fine. We'll put it all. Whoops. Oh. And of course, he's still going on his scarf because he didn't know when to quit.
Right.
Because when we all make a scarf, that's you get going as your first project and you don't know when to stop.
You use up your ball.
Exactly, until you get to the end. Okay. Next we have a hiker or a backpacker or a mountaineer, whichever you like.
Hiker, I think was the actual request.
So of course he's got the classic beanie because it's easy to get your hood up over top of your beanie when the rain starts coming down.
I think that's made at a Strawberry Fields.
It is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Also a Fleece and Harmony. So again, I'm just using bits and pieces. A lot of for the accessories. A lot of it is just leftover from projects that I have. Now I do purchase some specific lighter weight cotton to make some of the smoother.
Yeah. So the backpack is on the back. Yeah. With the straps.
Yeah. And it's actually, you could tuck something in there if you wanted to.
So it actually
has an opening.
Yeah, it has an opening. You could put something. You could put it.
You could put an engagement ring in there if you wanted.
Oh, yeah. You're feeling romantic today. Yeah. And the little straps and the shoes.
Boots. Yeah, they come off too. You can pop them off.
Yeah.
But those ones I tied on a little tighter to kind of keep them on. They've got laces and his little hiking boots.
And he's looking past
the other peak. View. Exactly. A mountain view.
All right. So...
I don't know.
Monty Mountain.
This is where I got lost.
Yeah.
I had one great one and then that was it.
Yeah.
So there we are.
Okay.
So this one, I believe the specific request, and I'm not trying to make fun here, but I did get confused when I read it. It said bird hunter, and I thought, immediately I'm thinking like pheasant hunting.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not interested in putting a gun on anything.
Yeah.
But then I came and talked to Kim and she's like, no, I think they meant like bird watcher.
Yeah.
So maybe you did mean bird hunter. I apologize. I wasn't willing to go there. If you meant bird watcher, that's where I took it and went with. So they've got their little
Tilly hat
on, their little vest with all the pockets.
Right.
And the birds are being quite friendly. So.
Yes. So it is so cute. And these birds are like just spectacular. They're so cute. Which I think I want to put maybe since I have 5 butterflies, I could do that.
So again, what I did for the birds, I did not create those myself. I just, I have another pattern that I've made called Elia and Jin from Jo Handmade Designs. And the bird pattern is her Jin pattern for her bird. So I did use that from hers. Now hers has the scarf on it, but I just left it off of the other two.
Right. And these like little... Oh, the pocket the pocket is not just sewn on there.
You can... Now the vest and hat are completely I just sit there and make it up as I go. This hat I think took me 3 tries to get that right shape.
Even got the little peak at the top.
Dip in there. That was the key, was getting that in there.
It's really, really cute. Yeah. And then the tie. And this little flap is actually a flap on the vest. It's unbelievable. Really,
so also
really
you'll
cute.
notice with him too. So often I do mostly crochet, but once in a while I'll pull out a little bit of my knitting skills.
Right.
And I'll
so this is knit.
That is knit. Yeah. And I tried to create a zipper effect across.
Okay. Birdie the bird watcher.
Birdie.
Birdie.
Or just birdie watcher.
Birdie watcher.
Okay, so I'm feeling vulnerable naming things on camera.
Yeah.
So this is the one that was not a specific request, but was inspired by Kim's butterflies. So, I did have one for this one. It's Mona M. Ark. Like a monarch. Or Mona Ark or something like that.
Right.
So I just gave her a little pair of wings.
So she's actually a butterfly.
She is a butterfly. She's dressed as a butterfly.
Right.
So I've worked with lots of toddlers in my past, and let me tell you, a pair of wings in your play kit goes a long way.
Right.
That's hours of fun to run around with wings on, because I think every child wants to fly.
Yeah. So she's
living the dream. And then she has her little antenna here as well.
Really sweet.
And to get those to stand up, I just doubled my yarn and crocheted with it double.
Tight.
Very tight and crocheted with it double.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I often will end up crocheting with a hook size that's 1, sometimes 2 or 3 sizes smaller than recommended, because with this kind of stuff I am looking for a stiff fabric.
Right.
So I will often be going down hook sizes.
So even something as thin as her headband, does that come off too?
Yep.
Or is it sewn on there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Pop
Wow.
straight off.
All right.
Yep, you can undress her. Now her wings are sewn on because I was just worried they wouldn't.
Right.
If she wasn't going to travel at all in her life, then you could leave it so that they could, because it was kind of just hugging around her neck.
Oh, okay.
But
all
I
right.
know she hopes to travel in the future very soon, so we don't want her to lose her wings on her flight.
And I think this is what's good about this too, is that the cotton sticks to itself.
It does.
So that helps to keep everything in place.
Well, I think it's the nubs grab the other nubs.
Right, exactly.
So there she
sweet.
is. Mona Arc.
Yeah. All right.
This one here is a little bit more, I think of it as a more simple one, probably just because I've done several of these in the past. Wearing a scarf and a little headband with the pom-pom.
Yeah.
I've done them in the past with toques because I love pom-poms. I have a thing for pom-poms.
Yeah.
So that's hers. And then it's a scarf knit in garter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's knit lengthwise.
I just knit the
cast
whole length I want.
Yes,
yeah.
right.
And then I just go back and you could do the little bit. It's like this wide.
Yeah.
And if you're like me, that's a lot of turning, and I don't want to turn that often.
Yeah.
So I just did the
lengthwise.
Yeah.
Horizontal. You knit it on the
cast
horizontal
on the whole
instead
length of your scarf.
Yeah. She's sweet.
Yeah.
Lucy Lavender. Lovely. Okay.
Of course we had, was there a request for a baker? Well, if there wasn't, there is now. So we love to bake at my house. And my husband is a massive Food Network
right.
What do you call fan or watcher of Food Network. So we're always watching people making cakes, decorating cakes, baking cakes. So she has her 3-tiered cake here balanced right on her back.
Yeah.
She's got her little chef's beanie and of course her chef's jacket.
Yes, and just like the little piping around it,
Yeah,
that makes a difference between just a white collar and a chef's jacket.
And a chef's
like
jacket.
it's just
I was thinking about doing like the whole foof, but when you go online, that's not what the chefs are wearing anymore.
Oh, okay.
They just wear
it's
like
old school.
Yeah,
Too
I think so.
I bet you the French chefs are still wearing
Maybe. I really don't
because
know.
the size of the hat is the hierarchy of the kitchen. Isn't that right?
Okay.
Yes.
There we
Ken
go.
knows. Yes.
Ken knows that. That's
yes.
right. That's
the higher the hat,
history. The more
pretentious
the higher the status. Okay.
Whoops.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should have given her a few more tiers on her cake then.
Please don't write if you're a chef with a big hat.
I love pastry chefs because I love what you do.
Yeah.
Because I'm more than happy to eat it.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, so again, this time I had to get real hardcore. The toothpick wasn't enough. So I pulled out the bamboo skewer.
Oh, okay.
So he has got a bamboo skewer going right through down to
here. So this is not a toy for a kid.
No,
this one
would not
is
be.
really,
if they rip this one apart, they're going to find. I would say this entire collection that we're calling the Fleece and Harmony edition.
Okay. Okay.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Are not really made with children in mind.
Right.
I made these more as ornaments.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
is what you'd want to call that. Yeah, so there's a skewer that goes in there, and then I did put a few stitches in just to keep that cake from falling off.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that one's all ready to go.
Cute. All right.
We've got a little gardener here. We had a few requests for some gardeners or spring bonanza floral, just the floral thing I think is what some folks were looking for. So she's got her basket of, I don't know what kind of flower that is. I don't know my flower names.
Do you know what that looks like? What's that?
You pick one.
It's, oh shoot. I used to have it in coxcomb.
There we go.
Coxcomb, I think.
That.
And it comes in these colors
Those
too,
colors
actually.
There, yeah. So what I did there.
That's a popular old garden flower around here. My grandmother had coxcomb in her garden, and
I love flowers. I have no luck growing them. I come from a family of gardeners. My grandmother was a very avid gardener, but I kill everything.
I think we should call her Flora McDonald.
Okay.
Do you know who Flora McDonald? Okay, so people around here will know
who Flora MacDonald is.
Yes, a very famous Scottish woman who spirited Bonnie Prince Charlie away over to Skye.
Okay.
So that's
there we go.
Yes.
Well, I hope she's a good representation of her then.
Well, it has nothing to do with flowers, but there we go. And it's a place, the place to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's of course got her little sunbonnet on. Where I added the detail around the rim is afterwards. It's just a slip stitch on top, which both has two purposes.
Fine,
yeah. So it has two purposes. So it gives the look of the hat with a ribbon around it, as well as it just cinched that in a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but then adds this little tiny bit of a wave to the brim. So just by putting that slip stitch on there and pulling it just a little bit, it adds that little detail.
Right.
So it's not just plain straight out.
So now I'm distracted because I'm hoping that I got the Flora MacDonald history right. Anyway, if it's not right, then I'll just say below.
You'll just have to put a note. Sometimes we don't prepare all of our comments and thoughts.
We're off the cuff.
So,
all right.
That's okay.
I'm pretty sure I got it right.
We have to remain humble and willing to be corrected.
Yes,
I think we are.
I'm pretty sure that I got it right. Okay.
So if you can tell, I'm holding out one of my favorites for last.
Oh.
So this here is, people asked for crocheting. So she's got her little crochet hook. I keep saying she, it could be a he. Got a little crocheting hook here in the blanket. They've created it's a 9-patch crocheted Afghan that she's working on. And then of course she has her little hat as well. And because I'm excited about doing this wallflower blanket that's coming up, I've started into just trying out some different flowers. I think we will be taught.
A head start.
Well, I think we'll be taught specific what we need.
Yes.
But I've been trying out some different versions.
Oh, really cute. Yeah.
Which I think are mostly constructed with half double crochet and double crochets. It's really quite amazing. You look at this 3D object, but all of it starts flat and 2D, and then it just kind of grows on itself.
Yeah, great. So there you go. So crochet, and so we're doing the wallflower, but there is also homage to the granny square.
Oh yes.
So she's got a flower, and she's got so I might just send a picture of this to Sue Matten and say, look what we're preparing for.
Yeah, we are. Maybe this is Sue.
Yeah,
without even knowing it.
Yeah, exactly. So there we go. It's really cute.
And this one I think is one of my favorites,
only
because
something else.
I agonized over how to make little sheep. And back in the winter, my husband decided to venture into textile arts himself, which is an adventure for him. So he was making all these little pom-poms out of yarn here, sold at Fleece and Harmony. He bought his little set of pom-pom makers that I think he saw Arna and Carlos had them. So he was winding these pom-poms, and then he watched them put them in. I think they tried a KitchenAid mixer to try and get them. Yeah. So he tried that, and he decided that was a bust. That didn't work. So throughout this winter, he was trying to figure out how to make these pom-poms, washing machine dryer. So I think he succeeded in it quite well. He got what he wanted, but he had some leftovers from his project. So I simply took the pom-poms and added little heads, ears, and feet.
So they're slightly felted.
Yes, they are.
So that's what makes them, excuse me. And you just put a little bit of stuffing,
in their heads. Yeah. And then this wee baby here, she's got in her pouch.
Yeah.
Because of course the shepherdess, lambing season, sometimes it's wet and cold. Those llamas need a little extra help.
Yeah, a little blanket.
So she's got her tucked in, and of course her little sheep are knit right into her cowl.
I think most knitters that are watching
know what that is.
Will know where you got the inspiration for the cowl. So
that is Donna Smith.
Yeah, Donna Smith. Babble,
yes,
or whatever. Yes,
the babble.
But kind of.
I think she has a hat. She may even have a cowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few different ones there.
Right.
So I did borrow that from her. So credit goes to her for that.
Yeah, it's really fun. And these are sewn on.
I did attach them because there'd be no other way to sort of keep them together.
Then she's got her little baby.
The little one can come out.
The little one can come out.
And I mean, if you really wanted to, once you own it, a lot of it is just they're attached by a stitch or two. So if you pulled and snipped, you could dismantle it for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's really cute.
So there she is. So that is the collection, and the idea credit goes to you folks. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
Much gratitude for your inspiration, and this is where I took it, and I hope I did it justice.
Well, I think it's very inspiring for all of us to see like what you can do. And when you're doing the little pieces, they're small, so I guess it doesn't really, once you get getting the idea.
It doesn't take much time?
No. Getting the idea is probably the hardest part, unless you're trying to do something from scratch, like the hat for the bird watching hat.
For me, it really just depends. What's hardest can change from llama to llama and project to project I'm working on. So sometimes it's a particular hat. It takes me quite a while to get the right shape that I want. These sheep, I thought about them for a long time. I did sit down and try and actually crochet a body using like a bubble stitch.
Right, okay.
But I realized that was going to take me forever.
Oh, okay.
And working that tiny, and with my tension, I'm often tight, so it was just too tight. So I made it about a third of the way back the neck, and I was like, forget this.
Oh, okay. And the pom-pom is the perfect.
It is wool. It's sheep's wool, so it really does look like it.
Right. So, well, I think it's just been that it's fantastic, and to see how it all came out, and I think hopefully we've inspired people that it's just like, I mean, I started from the very beginning, and in the end, I thought
it looks like a llama.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to work or whatever. But anyway, you won't know yet, but the theme of the podcast is actually, I learned to knit.
Oh.
Yes. So people, I've probably already talked about it by the time they're seeing this, but people have, they come into the shop and they say, oh, you're such a beautiful knitter. Well, I learned to knit.
Oh, the idea that, yes, I see. Okay. It's, nobody just
I'm not a natural.
No, nobody wakes up knowing how to do, well, I should say not nobody. Very few people are born into this world knowing how to do anything without practice and perseverance.
Yes, there's practice and perseverance. And I've said this before, is that I'm good at following instructions. I was not a good knitter. I was not a good knitter. I'm good at following instructions. And some people are very, naturally creative and can figure it out. And but this is, I learned how to make a llama.
Yes, you did. And my journey is the same, and I love hearing people's journeys about learning how to knit and learning how to crochet. The ones who'll say, I learned how to do the knit stitch when I was like 5 or 6. And then I decided when I was in my teens, I wanted to try the purl. And it's often this growing story. There's very few people, I think, that sit down and go, I'm going to learn how to knit, and they do it the first time. If you do, great, wonderful. But I think most stories I hear it's a progression of learning. And it's like, it stops and it starts. Yes. And you pick it up, and then all of a sudden one day you go, oh,
I know how to knit.
I'm knitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are knitters that actually choose their projects because they want to learn a new technique.
Good for them.
Yeah. So we have a couple really good customers that do that, and they've been very successful. So, and it's just amazing to see the progression of their skills because they're consciously doing, and part of it might be boredom because they want to learn something new every time, or it's a purposeful, I'm going to learn a new skill. And it's the Nordic Knitting Primer is very much like that as well, is that she tells you what skills you're going to learn or need to know, and then she teaches you the skills to do the project.
Is a building
It's a building block.
Nice.
I also think that the Bohemian Blooms book with Jane Crowfoot with the crochet, that's a build. You build on each skill.
Well, I think, and Andrea from Fruity Knitting, I think, talked about that when she made hers, that Jane assured her that you will learn all the skills you need as you do the project. Yes. So it's important to follow it.
Yeah.
From
so it's just like
it's
a learn. You learn.
Where I think I'm someone who's more, I want the end product, therefore I will learn whatever technique. So I often pick my project and then I go through and go, I need to know how this, I don't know how to do any of those.
Right.
Like the badger.
Yeah.
Which I thought, this little project, no big deal. Little did I know, like, every few lines I was Googling how to do something because there was intarsia and there was, like, it was just all a bunch. But what I liked about that is it was small. The project was small, so I was able to do those techniques fairly quickly as opposed to kind of forgetting as I went.
Yes, that's
So,
what I loved
yeah.
about that project. And you can tell that Julie is a really good knitter because all of the skills that you learn making those little tiny sweaters
Yeah.
with low investment.
Exactly.
You use them on big sweaters.
You
So-
just do it more times.
Yeah,
on a
so I
larger
had
sweater.
never knit a sweater with a lined pocket, but the coveralls on Pierre have a lined pocket.
Right.
So I was like,
you
you can
invested
totally
in this
use
big,
it.
but now you could do it.
Yes, I said totally. You just just cast on more stitches. So it's a process. So.
I was thinking about that too with these llamas, and what another thing I wanted to talk about is don't ever be afraid, and just take a moment to recognize how much of your skills are transferable skills.
Yes.
So you learn it on one project, carry it to another. Trust that if you want to try something, go ahead and try it. So for example, right now I'm taking the flax knit, Tin Can Knits flax sweater.
Right.
I've used that because I just want a basic pattern
Right.
for a raglan. However, I'm going to try a bunch of different things that I've had these ideas. Oh, I've done duplicate stitch on
Right.
this, so I'm going to try it on here.
Yeah.
So just don't be afraid to take some of those skills and designs and patterns and mix and match to make
it's
your
like
own
putting
thing.
tools in a toolbox.
Yeah.
You start to put tools in the toolbox.
Exactly.
And there's I forget exactly which one it is, but there's an increase or a decrease that Julie uses on the little cotton rabbits
yeah.
that I'm like, okay, that's going to be what I'm going to do now
'Cause
from
now I
now
like that
on
one.
because I like
Yeah.
that one and it's invisible.
Yeah. Is
So
that the grandmother?
Yes,
The one that,
yes. It's like a
not
lift-
called that,
it's
but
called different
you
things,
go
but-
2 stitches down and
Right,
pull it up.
right,
And
right.
yes, I agree. I really liked that one.
Yeah. So now, make one right, make one left. I'll do that.
Just do that.
I'll do
Yeah.
that one. So anyway, that's the adventure.
We could talk on for a while.
Yes, exactly.
So again,
So-
thank you so much for the time and those who've invested in my little llamas.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many we'll see going forward. I put a lot into those ones. I have a lot of things in life I still want to learn and do.
You're going to take a little break from llamas?
Maybe.
Because you've got flowers to make
I
now.
got flowers to. I have so many ideas of
Yes.
things to do.
So that's been great. It's really been great, and I'm really happy that we're going to do the wallflowers together now.
Too.
So
as you can see, I've already started heading in that direction.
Yes. And that's great. And I'm actually really looking forward to increasing my crochet skills.
I think you're going to enjoy this in a whole different way.
Yes,
I really
yes.
have hope about that for you because I've done a little bit of Afghan and blanket making and those sort of skills.
Right.
And the wool, we're going to be working with wool instead
Yes.
of cotton. There are a lot of differences.
Yes.
And I think you're really
I think
like
it's going to be more pleasurable to. So I found that hard on my hands actually.
Yes,
The
it
cotton.
is.
Yeah.
If you could see my nails.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
just because there's no moisture in cotton.
Yes.
Where wool has some natural oils in it.
Yeah.
Cotton doesn't. Cotton just sucks all the oils out of your hands.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
constantly.
it has to be stiff.
It does.
Because that's how they stand up.
Yeah.
So my blanket has to be soft. So
Nobody wants that. And that was actually when I first started. That was my problem, transferring from creating rugs
right.
to being able to make garments because you don't want to put a blanket or a garment on that feels like
Stiff.
a rug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway,
Thank you so much.
You're going to be back
Oh,
the
yeah.
next episode because by that time we'll have started. We'll be
Yes.
picking our colors out. So and
excited.
Arna and Carlos are doing flowers with felted tweed
I
too
saw
as a
that.
part of, yeah.
I saw that.
Must be a coincidence.
Sure.
I'm sure it's got to be a coincidence.
Although I'm starting to wonder, this whole knitting community does really
it's a
seem
little
to
insular.
find they get
Yes.
on board with each other.
Yeah, so it's really great because they're doing them with felted. I mean, it's hard to find another yarn that is so nice to work with that has as many colors as
color
felted. The
selection.
color selection
Yeah.
is the
You
thing
have it.
about-
It's right over here behind us.
Yeah.
It's all lined
they're
up
all
beautifully,
there.
and just to see them all spread out like that is
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah, great. All right, Betsy.
Take care.
See you next time. Bye. So, that was so much fun going through that and seeing all the. I had no idea she was doing one of Ken, so that was really funny. And her attention to detail is just amazing, and it's really, really cool how just the little signals that she picks out that give you everything you need to know about what the llama is supposed to be and what they do. So that was really, really fun. And it's motivated me to finish my little butterfly catcher. So I just need to figure out how I'm going to do the net. To be honest, if I delay long enough, Betsy might figure it out for me. After all, she did the butterflies for me, but I guess that's really a cop-out. So I'll have to figure out something on my own. I have to do something on my own. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, the whole thing with the cast iron frying pan and everything, I was just like, I knew that she was crocheting a cast iron frying pan, but when I touched it and it actually felt like a frying pan, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, it's just such a joy and motivation to really be creative that that's incredible. So thanks, Betsy, for that. It's really, really great. So since we're talking about Betsy, we're coming up to the Mercerie. So you can watch this video starting on April 29th. And on May 1st is when the course that Betsy and I have enrolled in from the Mercerie for the wallflower blanket starts. So we are so excited about it. It's going to be really, really great. I've already kind of been looking at felted tweed colors. I'm not going to make any decisions. I'm going to play by the rules as far as the course goes, because Sue Matten, who is the designer of that beautiful project, she wants to teach us about color and inspire us about color. So I'm going to wait for that, because otherwise I'm just going to do what I always do. There's a group of colors that I love. It'll probably hit purple and whatever. So I'm going to try to use this opportunity to branch out to different colors and see what I can come up with, and maybe try to be a little bit out of my comfort zone. So it's going to be fantastic. And of course, we'll show our progress as we go with that. I also am anxious to, Arna and Carlos are also crocheting with felted tweed, and they're making flowers. So there's lots of inspiration for flowers if you want to, up your crochet game, or even just try crochet and get into it. So May 1st, and as I've said before, there is a discount to people that have enrolled in the class, and the discount code will come from Sue. When you are about to start your project, you'll be able to get a discount code that comes from Sue as part of her information package. And as I said before, I have every color of felted tweed, and I have looked at the colors which are most popular, and I have stocked up on that. So no worries that you're not going to be able to find the color you want. I have them all in quantities that we should be good. Everybody should be good to be able to get what they need. So I hope some of you are going to join us for that project as well. And I did get a couple comments from people that are doing the granny square one, which, to be honest, looks really, really nice too. That kind of, not symmetrical play on granny squares. Also a really fun project, I think. And you'll also learn about colors going together with that project. It's a little bit smaller than the wallflower. So if, you need a little bit more, something that's a little bit less big, then the homage to the granny square might be the right project for you. And I think it's a little bit more at a little bit more of a beginner level as well. So check those projects out if you haven't seen it. The links are down in the show notes below. And just a note on that, if you don't know already, I always put chapters in the show notes. And if you use your cursor over the bottom of the video when you're watching it on a laptop or a desktop or an iPad or whatever, you can see the different chapters there. So you can skip around and look at the segments that you're interested in. So I think that brings us to the shop update. And I'm going to show something that I have a little pet peeve about this when people do it, but I'm going to do it now myself. So I won't be able to say anything, which is a pet peeve about people, is that when things are in this crinkly cellophane, I can't stand can't stand it, but now I'm going to show something in crinkly cellophane. So there's two lovely customers of ours that make dryer balls, and they actually use our wool in the inside of the balls, and then they buy wool roving from a bunch of different places to do the outside coloring of the ball. So we have these for sale. So there are 3 balls for $20, and you can buy them on the website. They're all kinds of different assorted colors. So we can't list them all, but they're all beautiful, and they're all a little bit different. And Sally and Rachel just do a great job on these packages. If you haven't used, oh, see, this is what I don't like, the crinkling sound. If you haven't used dryer balls before, they're really amazing. They help your laundry dry faster in the dryer because the wool soaks up water. Wool can soak up 30% of its weight in water and still not feel wet, so that's amazing. And you don't need to use fabric softener apparently with them, so that's great. I sometimes put fabric softener in anyway because I like the smell of it. But if you don't want to use fabric softener, you don't have to use fabric softener with them. So those are on the website. Like I said, they're all different colors, so you're just going to get it's kind of like a surprise. You're going to get a surprise color, but they're all really beautiful. So those are the quick little thing that I wanted to show. We did get a few more pairs of the thrum mittens. So what we decided to do was Jo, who's the woman that's knitting these. She's directly from Newfoundland, so they're really authentic thrum mittens. So she was doing a lot of different colors that I started taking pictures of all of the different colors, but honestly, it's too much. I can't. There's too many. Every week I was taking pictures of thrum mittens. So the actual traditional color in Newfoundland is a natural gray with white, and they got fancy with a little red stripe. So now I've asked Jo just to do the traditional gray with white with the red stripe. So she's knitting me a raft of thrum mittens in these traditional colors. If you're not familiar with what thrum mittens are, all of these, the lice or the specks on the outside of the mitten are all little tufts of wool that are knit into the mitten. And when you wear the mitten, all of these tufts start to felt so that you have a really, really warm mitten. And Jennifer Hicks was telling me, because there was a customer in the store today that knits thrum mittens as well, and she was taught by somebody in Newfoundland that was doing authentic thrum mittens. And she said that woman told her that they actually made sure that they spread out the thrums inside the mittens, and then they made the mittens extra large, and then they put them in hot water to felt them on purpose. And she said when you did that and the fishermen were using these thrum mittens, it actually made the mittens almost waterproof, so that they could actually put their hand in the water, in the cold water, without getting cold, their hands cold for that. So they don't really do that anymore. Any of the thrum mittens I've seen are not shrunk. They're like this. But that was something. They were really smart with the way you had to be smart to survive back in the day, I think, in the elements and fishing in the winter and everything. So that's the workhorse version of the thrum mittens. But today we just have fancy ones that do keep your hands really warm because they've got the fleece inside that felts. So those are them. We have more. And I just wanted to also mention that I have all of the colors of the knitting barber cords. So I just pulled one. This is a green one, but I have all of the colors that they make. So if you want to order those, these silicone cords go on the ends of your needle tips, and you can use them to extend the length of your circular needle so that you can try on sweaters. Or I used it to check how big the back of my cowl cardigan was. So it's knit flat, but I'm using circular needles, and I just put these on the end so that I could expand it all the way out, so I can really get a good measurement of how wide my sweater is. So if you're looking for the Knitter Barber cords, we have them all in every color that they make. So anything you want, you have that. Then I have a new book. Of course, everybody knows that I love knitting books. And I heard about this book a while ago from Janet that works with us. And I ordered it a long time ago, and it finally came in. And it's Wilderness Knits. So if you haven't seen this book, it is fantastic. And it's really hard to find good pictures online of the patterns that are in it. So I'm going to show you some of the pages in the book. I can't really, I think her name is Linka. So it's Linka Newman is the name of the pattern designer. And she's an outdoorsy type. There she is with her sled dog. And I'm going to show you the pictures because I really couldn't find very good pictures that were high enough quality online to really put some up. So there's this one in the book, which is absolutely stunning. And they're knit with thicker yarns. So certainly our Selkirk worsted actually might be a little bit fine, but there's different weights of yarns that are there that you can look up the patterns on Ravelry. So the Wilderness sweater is the one that's the most famous, and it has the paw prints on it. So that's in this book in a couple different versions. So right down to kids sizes as well. There's a cardigan in that same pattern. And that I think that kind of seems to be the iconic sweater that she did. Okay, that's all pattern pages, so I'm not going to show that. Then there's, I have no idea how to pronounce these names, Foika, which I think is absolutely stunning. Very tempting, I would say, for me right now, because it's absolutely gorgeous. And there's a couple different variations in the color. It's good that they showed them in different colors so that you can be motivated. And then this one is Alizuka. I have no idea, but also beautiful. Hard to pronounce, but lovely. And you just looking at them, you can just see how warm they are. And there's a different color version, a couple color versions here on that as well. And the pictures are absolutely stunning as well. So that's pattern. And then she has a thinner version, so a lighter weight yarn. And then there's Fjord Folk, and that looks like it's in a couple different styles too, colors. And I think we're almost sewn on sleeves. There's a round yoke, so there's a couple different ones. There's a cardigan of the same one, Mantuka or Mantuka. Just let me see if I can find a really good. So this one, I'm going to put my hand over the chart. You can see that. And Molinka. And oh my gosh, there's more. Okay. Can't show this one because you can't see a very good picture with, oh no, here we go. Okay, it's called something else that Nordkalotten something. I'm really sorry. There you go. So this is the slowest slideshow in history that I've ever done, but like I said, I couldn't get good pictures. And Norwegian Forest. This is a wow factor one. Check that out. Really nice. Every sweater in here you'd want to knit. There's a headband. I won't bother showing that. And then the rest are, oh no, there's another one. Pilgrim sweater. And is that it? That also comes in a lighter version. Nope, one more storm sweater and black wolf. Okay, so this is black wolf. And this one is storm sweater. It's a more plain one. And actually, I looked at this book like 100 times. Okay, this one is called Tissalad. What's she doing putting her tent up? I think she's gonna go sleeping in the, she's sleeping rough. That one. And I have to show you the last version of it. So this is the last sweater. It comes in a cardigan as well, but the color selection of this last one is absolutely stunning. I don't know if I can look at that. It's like fantastic. Can you see it? Yeah. So it's just great. It's beautiful. Those orangey colors. I'll just show it to you again. All right, so that's that book. It's fantastic. It's really, like I said, Janet, who works with us, suggested that I get it, and then I've waited months, literally months, to have it arrive, and so we have that in stock. So I would highly recommend that. So I'm going to talk a little bit. I also want to show you, first, before I get there, I want to show you this Jewel selection again. So Jewel Designs, we carry quite a lot of their things. It's really, really high quality accessories for your shawls and things like that. So there's she's done this great thing. I've showed this before, but I think it's worth showing again. It's a shawl pin that has a charm on it, and the one that I'm showing here is the butterfly called Monarch. So you have a shawl pin that just acts like a regular shawl pin. You just take the stick out and have it here, but the body of the shawl pin is made in such a way that you can remove this charm that's on the bottom, and you can buy the charms separately. So you have the main pin that you buy, and then there's a selection of I think like 6 or 7 different things that you can have. There's a butterfly, there's a bee, there's a tree frog, a hummingbird, a dragonfly. We have them all online, you can check. So you just need one of the full pins. And then after that, if you want to change it up, you can buy the charm by itself and do that. And then all of the ones that have the shawl charm lock shawl pin is what it's called. They also have the same motifs in a shawl stick. So if you can see that. So we're sold out of a couple of the shawl sticks. But they're really nice too. You just stick them in your knitting to hold them together. If you didn't want to do like a full on shawl pin. So check Jewel Designs out on our website, because they're super well made, and the craftsmanship is just beautiful. So I wanted to mention those. So I'm gonna keep with my theme of colorway of the week, and this week I chose Pansies, and the fact that I chose Pansies led me to wear the Birds of a Feather shawl, because I'm going to show, as I always have been doing, is I'm going to show the Pansies colorway, and I am going to show you 5 skeins of yarn that you can do coordinate with it. And if you've been watching, you know what I do with this. I love the variegated done in a yoke. I'm not such a big fan of just using making a whole garment of a variegated, although I've seen it done very well. So this one is called Pansies. And you can see where I was kind of motivated. This is much more white. This was a different colorway that we did that was a little bit more speckly and white, but it has kind of the same kind of feel of Pansies. And what I chose to put together with this, which I'll take a picture, is the colors from the Amethyst Gradient. So you can buy the Amethyst Gradient in a small pack of mini skeins, or you can buy all the skeins in full sizes. We carry both, but the Pansies works really well with all of these colors. So the Amethyst Gradient is from light to dark, Mayflower, and Lady Slipper is the next one. Then we have Aster, a little bit darker, and they all go perfectly with Pansy. And we have Purple Coneflower. And finally, the ever popular Amethyst Brooch, if you want high contrast. So you can use any of those colors with the Pansies. There is also Autumn Birch and other like brownie shades in it, but I think it really pops. It really pops with the purple. This one is a little bit more predictable, I would say, but if you want to see it with Autumn Birch, I can just show you really quickly. I have Autumn Birch here. You can see how that would work too. It's really beautiful. So we also made Pansies in flock fingering. So flock fingering is quite a fine yarn. It is in smaller skeins because we wanted people to have a little bit flexibility with it. So they're 250 yards for 50 grams. I just want to make sure that I have that right. I can't, sorry, 200 yards for 50 grams. So 400 yards for 100 gram if you had bigger skeins. And this is a weight that is the same as what was used in the original weight, or the original yarn suggestion for Birds of a Feather. So as I said, Birds of a Feather first appeared in Llama magazine #2, and it was a hedgehog fibers yarn. The color was called Crybaby, and it's the same weight as our flock fingering. So our flock fingering are smaller skeins to make them a little bit more versatile, but the yarn itself is the same weight. So you could make this shawl with the flock fingering. And we have flock fingering in Pansies. We have a couple other colors as well that you can check out online, but we have it in Pansy. And for the Kidsilk Haze, I picked out cream is super easy if you use cream with it, but I also picked out dewberry, and I have to say, it makes you, just looking at it makes you want to knit it. It's really, really beautiful. You could use other like softer, there's also a softer mauve, I can't really remember, I'll put it down below if you wanted a little bit less contrast than the white, but you didn't want to go as purple as this. But I think the dewberry is just stunning, so I wanted to show you that. And I think that's it for the shop update. So we've got quite a few things that you can look at. Look at just these two together. It's beautiful. So it's really nice. I can't cast on another project. In my newsletter last week, I said that I'm fidgety and want to cast on something else, but I really can't. I have to finish some of these projects that I have. So we'll talk about the Fibre Festival update for a few minutes. So there's not really too much to update. On Monday, the general tickets went on sale, so you can check it out on Monday. Or sorry, you've already checked it. Everything's live, so everything that's going on is there. You can buy your tickets and make your arrangements. The Department of Tourism has mentioned, they were on the news the other day and said that things are booking up really quickly. So if you haven't booked for the Fibre Festival yet, your hotel or your accommodations, you should probably do that. Sorry, the the cord of the microphone just kind of disappeared there, so I was looking for it. You should do that. If you have trouble finding things, places to stay, there's links to 4 hotels on the Fibre Festival website. And if you book through those links, if there's rooms left in the block that's been discounted for Fibre Festival attendees, you will be able to access that discount there. If things are sold out, you can get in touch directly with the Department of Tourism on Prince Edward Island. Their service is excellent, and they really have a handle on everything that's available in PEI, when it's available, and what your best bets are for accommodations and things. They actually just send out a newsletter to people that are considered tourist attractions, and we're one. So we got the newsletter saying, like, convincing people that they need to keep the Department of Tourism up to date on their inventory of rooms and so forth. So they're really, really trying to make sure that everybody gets the accommodations that they need. So if you can't find what you want, you can get in touch. There's a 1-800 number with the Department of Tourism, and they're super, super helpful. So you can do that. So I think I talked a long time, and now it's time to go to the harmony part. So Ken often posts on his personal Facebook feed. He's always posting beautiful pictures of sunsets. We have beautiful sunsets in Eastern PEI. So I've decided that I'm just going to do a montage of sunsets, and Ken has taken all these beautiful pictures. Of course, I'll find some lovely music to go behind this. So I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the Prince Edward Island sunset montage that I've done. I'm going to do it for a couple minutes because I think we all need a couple minutes to take a breath and just kind of calm ourselves again and marvel at the beauty of nature. So I hope that you enjoy the sunset montage with the music that I've chosen, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. If you like the video, I would encourage you to subscribe. We're safely over the 10,000 now, so I want to thank everybody for that. That was really fun, and I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, you can do that. If you like the video, put your thumbs up, and you can click for your notifications so that you never miss an episode. And I wish you a wonderful 2 weeks, and I hope you find some joy and peace in your lives, and we'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Bye.